Hello. So today let's talk about why are high intensity workouts not always the best choice for chronic pain relief. Now, as an executive mom, you are used to pushing through those challenges, whether it is the high pressure meeting, the tight deadlines, or the demands of family life and children in general. Now, so when it comes to your fitness, it's natural to assume that the harder you push yourself, the better the results will be. You might believe that those high intensity exercises or workouts will help you to stay strong and to beat that chronic pain that you have. But what if it's actually making things worse? Now, I understand that high intensity exercises have a place of their own, for sure. I have also been there, worked with them, etc. But when I started getting symptoms of adrenal fatigue, or my aches and pains worsened, I had to change something in those exercises, the level of exercise. And that is why today I want to talk from my own experience in this video as to why those high intensity workouts aren't always, not necessarily, but aren't always the answer, and what can you do instead of this. So if I tell you don't do it, but then what are you going to do again? What are you going to do for it then? All right, so let's discuss it in this video today. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms who work in high stress executive jobs who have younger kids to manage their spinal, that is back and neck, and nerve pain. And I do so by giving you simple exercises, some easy lifestyle modification, some tips and tricks that have helped me in my own pain, that is your spinal and nerve pain, um, and this is despite low energy levels and brain fog or lack of focus that I used to have. Now, this was all a part of my pain and adrenal fatigue journey. However, now that I'm on the other side, I like to talk about these topics so that I can help you if you are in the midst of it. Because when you have low energy levels and when you have that brain fog, it is not impossible. I've been there, done that, but it seems at that time to be nearly impossible to get out of that aches and pains and discomforts. Anyway, I do all of this without taking away a big chunk of your time because, hey, we're moms, we're busy people, right? So let's get on with the topic for today, which is why are high intensity exercises or workouts not always the best choice for chronic pain relief? So, as I was saying, the intense workouts that we do, like for example, when you have back pain, I came across so many examples of this. During my time at the clinic, where there would be people who come in or who come in with this history of, oh, I had back pain, I was told to get back to exercises, so I went into the gym, and or I went to a Zumba class, or I went and did some high intensity workout, or I went for a long run or something, and then the back pain came back, or my chronic pain actually got aggravated. So how am I supposed to exercise? So if you are one of those, this is the video that you want to watch. All right, anyway, so what happens with high intensity workouts? It can sometimes, not always, but sometimes it can increase the inflammation, muscle tension, and stress on those already overworked joint and spine. And it leaves you feeling even more fatigued, and you feel even more sore in your body, right? So if you are trying that high intensity session or heavy weight training and you're still struggling with chronic pain, I think it's time to rethink your approach, right? So instead of thinking of building strength, improving mobility, and reducing pain, instead think about building strength, improving your mobility, and working towards pain relief in a way that actually works for your body. So what can you do? Okay, first let's talk about the inflammation factor. Now, chronic pain is often linked to inflammation, and while exercise is essential in order to manage your like your overall health, too much of an intensity with that exercise can spike your stress hormones like cortisol, leading to increased inflammation. So, in case you don't know, cortisol is one of those hormones that is released when you are like on the go and you got to achieve something. Like when you wake up in the morning and you wake up with, hey, let me just conquer the world. So, that is your cortisol talking. And in the evening, when you feel, oh, I'm done for the day, I want to go to bed, that's when your cortisol dips down. So, when you have too much cortisol, because of the stress hormone, because of that excessive exercise that or high intensity exercise that you're doing, that cortisol itself leads to increase in inflammation on an everyday basis. That's fine, but if you are doing it for exercise, that we do not want that kind of inflammation, right? So what can you do? You can incorporate some low impact strength training. So strength training is something that's very important, especially for moms who are my age. When you get to a certain, like 35, 30, 35 plus onwards, especially towards your 40s, you want to actually do that weight training, that strength training, right? But you don't have to go in and do it very high intensity. You can still do a low impact, low intensity strength training, and you can do mobility work to improve your function without triggering that excessive inflammation that we spoke about. So use shorter, targeted movement sessions that help to build that stability without overloading your joints. I will tell you how to do this, but right now let's talk about the theory of it. Now, another thing that happens is you're overworked. Muscles, when you overwork your muscles, they create more tension. So they do not decrease the tension in the muscle, they actually create more tension in your muscles. Now, if your muscles are already tight from sitting at a desk all day long, from that sedentary lifestyle that most of us have, jumping into high intensity workouts can actually reinforce those muscular imbalances that we have. So those tight muscles, those weak muscles, all those imbalances that we have, instead of relieving them, that exercise will actually intensify them. So over a time, that can lead to poor movement patterns, poor postures, and of course, chronic pain. So what can you do? So instead of going in for those high intensity workouts, focus more on postural training. So for example, if I'm one of those who slouches like this, okay, this is a very generic example. I want to be stretched out to the front of my body. I want my back, upper back muscles to be strong enough to hold my shoulders in this position. So this is a very simplified and random example I'm giving you. So you want to do more postural training to release that tension, to build that strength where you actually need it, right? So another thing you can do is functional based exercises. So for example, lunges, squats, these are more functional, because when I say functional, this basically, to break it down in very simple English, it means positions and movements that you use in your everyday life. Those the exercises that are based on those are known as functional exercises. Okay, so you want to do more functional exercises. Now, another thing is high stress plus high intensity exercise means more pain. Now, when your body is already under stress, whether it's physical or mental, from your work, from your parenting, from your daily responsibilities, if you add on high intensity workouts to that, it can keep your nervous system into an overdrive. Now, that overdrive is that, okay, you might have, let me just back up here. You might have heard of the nervous system when it's in that healing phase, the rest and refresh kind of a stage. Or on the other end of the spectrum is that fight or flight mode, where it's in that overdrive. It's like, it's in a stressful situation, right? So you want your nervous system to be in a rested state. You don't want it to be in that overdrive all the time. So what happens is, when you are stressed at work, physically or mentally, say you are sitting in a poor posture and your nervous system is repeatedly getting those signals saying that, hey, I'm stressed. So what happens at that time is, if you then put yourself through a high intensity exercises, it makes your pain worse and it makes your recovery harder, because your body is not in that healing, the healing side of the spectrum. It's in that overdrive side of the spectrum that we just spoke about. So what is a better approach to do in this case? You can integrate breath work and nervous system regulation techniques to bring your body into a recovery mode. So this complicated English that I just said, it basically means you need to do more diaphragmatic or deep breathing. You need to do something like a box breathing. I'm not going to go into the details of this, because I have covered this in quite a few videos of mine on YouTube. You can choose controlled intentional movement that support more long-term pain relief rather than just short-term exertion that you would get with high intensity exercises. Now, basically, if high intensity workouts are leaving you feeling more sore instead of strong, it's time for a smart, more effective approach, right? Now, how do you do this? I have quite a few free trainings that I do in my free community, and some of them are simple solutions to manage your back pain. Some have to do with nerve pain, neck pain, core challenge. Some of them also work on that nervous system part of it, about your pain and the beliefs that we have around pain. So you can have a look at my community. I will leave a link in the description to a blog that I've written on the same topic of why are high intensity workouts not always the best choice for chronic pain relief. So when you look at that blog, it will give you the details, it will give you the link to my free community. You can have a look at it there. And also, it has a lot of links to other blogs that I've done on posture, sitting at your desk all day. I'm just reading through my notes, inflammation, fatigue, etc. So things that you can relate to in your everyday life. So have a look at that if you see if you like it, and you can join the free community in the from the link that is present inside that blog. So alrighty, that's all I have for you today, and I will see you guys next time. If you have any questions, any comments on today's video, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. Alrighty, see you guys next time. Bye for now.